Oh, ow, that's hot. Hey guys, Red Pen Mining here. Hope you're doing well, having a really great day this video. Okay, I wanted to talk to you guys about all these little solo Bitcoin miners power supplies. So I want to make a dedicated video about this. I've talked about this many times before, but for anyone that maybe stumbles upon this video, I just wanted to showcase here the temperature difference between these laptop bricks for powering a NerdQaxe++, or even powering these little types of miners, which is generally fine depending on the capacity of the laptop bricks. So a lot of these devices now, a lot of like NerdQaxe++s, Octaxes, these are all 12 volt devices. I know earlier generation of Bitaxe Gammas, the smaller solo miners back then were 5 volt, which I don't have any devices here that are 5 volt. They're all 12 volt devices. Anyways, there's been a lot of power optimizing in terms of the connectors, capacitors for a lot of these devices, like the NerdQaxe++ revision 6.1, where now it has the XT30 input plug here, and similar, the Octaxe has an XT60 power connector. But the biggest bottleneck that I've been seeing recently for all of these devices that I've been setting up is the stock power supply that comes with it. And man, they get hot and I feel like it's melting. It feels kind of sticky already since I've been running it for more than a day now. Anyways, let's get into showing you guys the temperatures of these devices. So thank you to today's video sponsor, Cryptominerbros.com. If you guys are looking for any of these types of devices, Octaxes, the new revision NerdQaxe++ Hydro, or simply the aired version NerdQaxe++, also has now the fan on the back. This is really nice, really cool. Link down below if you guys are interested. Use code REDPANDA for $70 off. As well, there is a giveaway happening. You have to watch a previous video that I did called How Much Bitcoin Hash Rate Do I Have for Solo Mining? So link down below to that video. Simply just watch it and you just have to comment and like that video. Okay, so now we're gonna be going through with my heat reader here. I can see basically the temperatures of anything. As you guys can see, the NerdQaxe++ Hydro edition, you can see looking at, I think that's the voltage regulator right there, showing red there. It's at about 73 degrees Celsius. So I noticed the Hydro version doesn't have any active air, going around, even, on the voltage power module there. There's no airflow because this is a Hydro model with an AIO. There is a fan, 120 mil fan, but that's for the radiator. Now I have a NerdQaxe++ 6.1 air-cooled one with the fan on the back. And just to show you guys there, that same area is about 49 degrees Celsius, 48. So having the airflow from the fan right here, okay, is helping it cool down the power modules there. And there's also a fan on the back that's also helping cooling it. So I have a feeling that the air-cooled model is actually cooler than the Hydro model, actually. Anyways, let's now look at these power bricks. Okay, so I have a power brick here powering the Hydro model here, and look, the hottest point near the end of the power supply here, this thing is 76 degrees Celsius. All right, the rest of the power supply is 66, hottest point up here 67. So it gets pretty hot near the, I guess, input for the power supply there. It's getting pretty hot right there. Now let's compare it to a metal style power supply that I have here that are powering my Nerd Octaxes. Let's get nice and close here. Okay, so at the top here we're showing about 58 degrees Celsius. Let's go over here, 59. The center there where the white is, the white target's 41. Inside, this is where the fan is. There is a fan on this model, which is much better. Gives airflow throughout the whole power supply. 57 degrees, 56 degrees Celsius. So you see how much cooler the metal power supply is compared to one of these laptop bricks that don't have any active cooling. I've seen more often than not, a lot of people complain about these types of power supplies just, burning out, not as safe because it's running at like what, 80, mine was almost 80 degrees Celsius right in this corner here. So I'm not saying that these are bad or anything, or even a fire hazard. I mean, these things have been tested out throughout the history of, having laptop miners and all that kind of stuff. But to be mining with these devices 24/7, having these power supplies just have constant current going through and always be, you know, 78, 80 degrees Celsius. These things, in my opinion, are just not meant to do that. So that's why I've been now learning about and converting into these types of power supplies, which I have a full video of doing that with these Nerd Octaxes. You guys can watch that video if you like. So in another video in the future, soon, if you guys are watching this video, I'm currently on a vacation, on a trip. I will be purchasing the XT30 connectors and probably the same 600 watt power supply that I've been using to power these devices, NerdQaxe++s, because yeah, these laptop bricks, yeah, actually let's see how hot the air-cooled power supply is. All right, this one is at hottest point on this laptop brick, shows 52 degrees Celsius. Back here, 52, 50. So it's really, this one's not as bad. Granted, okay, actually biggest difference is I don't have this one overclocked. This one's at 4.8 terahash. I do have the Hydro model overclocked at 6 terahash, which is pulling 123 watts. And this power supply, which I showed you guys, is already maxed out. Max capacity of this power supply is 120 watts. So from the factory, this was already overclocked at 750 frequency and I think 1200 voltage. So we are pretty much maxing out this power supply in terms of the power capacity of this laptop brick. This will definitely burn out, in my opinion, probably very fast. So yeah, the biggest thing is the reason why we upgrade to these power supplies is cooler and also the overclock ability, power management of having a lot more headroom on these types of power supplies rather than these laptop bricks. I'll have a link down below to this power supply that I've been using. I've had no issues thus far, knock on wood. But if you guys have any other recommendations, let me know down below, and I'll have the cables depending on which type of miner you're, you know, looking to upgrade. Again, watch the video that I did. I had a fun time using wire cutters to, you know, cut the insulated wires, the specific gauge, you know, using my Klein Tools wire cutter here to do this job. It was fairly easy. If you're not comfortable in doing this type of work, then don't do it. Don't overclock your miners. Make sure you are at the 80% rule or lower, probably lower on these types of power supplies so that you're not going to melt it and burn it out. That's my recommendation for anyone that is going to be getting into these types of miners. Just understand, yeah, if you're going to be overclocking or doing all that kind of stuff, you got to get a custom, you know, metal power supply with an active fan. Keep it cool, right? That's my biggest disclaimer. That's my best advice I'd have to say for these types of devices. Okay, my friends, let me know your guys' thoughts of this video. Yeah, if you have any recommendations, let me know down below. And again, don't forget, watch the video I have linked for just commenting about this NerdQaxe++ revision 6.1. Cryptominerbros is giving one of these away, so I'll be choosing the winner from that video in about a couple days, I think, after this video is uploaded. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Let me know if you've had any power supplies burn out or any issues like that. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace out. Peace out.